Welcome to Common Hood. This your man Simon P. I'm joined and blessed by my man Calvin here today. Calvin want to drop some jewels for the weekend because he say the weekend is the most time when everybody get in trouble. But with that being said, we ain't here to preach no gospel. He is here to give you a few tips to embrace, and hopefully we can have him come drop you something once Friday or every Friday, or however much time he has, because he's a very business man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself for us, telling you all his credentials, because he may not want you to know everything.
Really? That's true. I tell you what, man. My name is Calvin Pryor. You know, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. You already know that.
Chi-town all day.
Got two businesses here in Gainesville. You know, doing pretty good right now.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? It started out kind of rough and rocky, but you know, keep the faith and you keep on going. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do things. Keep the faith and keep pushing. Some other things I could say right now, but I'm gonna turn it back over to you so you can ask me some questions. I know you want to do that.
You gotta say Lucinda Handyman.
Well, Lucinda Handyman is the name of my company. Everybody say, why Lucinda Handyman? His name is my wife.
I want you to tell them that.
His name after my wife. She put down on me. She tried to beat me up. You know what I'm saying? I tried to change something up. She tried to beat me up. 29 years of marriage, you know. It's going strong. Against your Rockies, you got your ups and downs, but if you as long as you keep the faith, marriage will stay strong. You know, that's the way I see things. In your relationship, any relationship.
Any relationship.
Lucinda Handyman, we do remodels, you know, restoration, you know, different things of that nature. Whatever the handyman thing might be, we do kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, whatever it may be. The other company is L Power Washing. We power wash tractor trailers and rigs, commercial buildings, houses, whatever you want to do, that's what we do. Call us. It's all good. But I'm not here to talk about my businesses, though.
Call Lucinda. But we're here to talk about a nice, interesting topic you brought in about throwing in the towel. We're just going to hit a couple bullets, man, because, you know, this generation and my generation and me, we short-tempered. Everybody want to get on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, and part of throwing in the towel, man, you had sent me something. You send these things to me daily. I said, hey, man, why don't you just come on to the cast and just share this with the audience, man? You know, you can't text everybody all this good information you sending. So we came up, you shot me today about throwing in the towel, and we all have those moments.
Right.
So, you know, I'm just going to hit a couple bullets.
I'm with you.
Missing the mark. How we come under that?
A lot of us think we missed the mark, but really we didn't. You know, trials and error cause you to find the right mark. You know, I've been through a lot of things in my life, and a lot of trials and error in my life. I wanted to throw in the towel, give up on it, you know, just walk away from something. But see, if you go through life with just, say for instance, you go on with a silver spoon in your mouth or a gold spoon in your mouth.
I think I had a silver.
You had a silver? I ain't had none. You know, if you're born in a family to where you don't have to work hard, you can just go on and get your inheritance, do whatever you got to do. You don't have any kind of trials in life. You know, where I come from, you know, I'm gonna share a little bit with you if you don't mind. They called me a dumpster baby. I was found in a dumpster in Chicago, Illinois as a newborn baby. And going through that era in my life as a dumpster baby, being adopted by Calvin and Mary Pryor, that's how I got my name. You know, I found myself growing up in
not Richard Pryor. Right?
Not Richard Pryor, no.
Okay.
I wish, you know, I'd be rich. but I found myself going through certain things in life to where I felt, you know, my trials and tribulations, being homeless and different things of that nature, trying to give up. You know, I've been through a lot of different things, brother. And on another podcast, we'll share those. But when I say throw in the towel, a lot of people want to throw in the towel just because something hard happens.
Right.
That hard thing that happens in your life is going to make it better for you. You got to understand that. Some people just want to say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. They give up too easy. You got to keep pushing. Some people have faith in certain different things. You know, some people have faith in God. Some people have faith in the universe. Some people have faith in a lot of different other stuff. But me personally, I believe in God, you know that. I believe in Jesus, I believe in that. I believe in the universe too as well. You know, but I feel like if you keep a positive attitude in life, you can definitely make it. That positive attitude will help you make it.
Well, you know, missing the mark can cover a broad array of things. I ain't gonna tell my age right now, but
I will.
I got a few sticks of gray. Let's just say that. And sometimes, you know, as you go through those decades kind of fly by. I can understand when people say I missed the mark.
That too.
They see that you come into a revelation at a different time, or you say I didn't have this exposure. We wish we would have had internet growing up at 16 or 15.
Right.
You know, it didn't. but you get a certain part, then there's a benchmark that you're looking to get to.
Right.
And sometimes when you don't have that benchmark, it's like sometimes you say throw in a towel that maybe age or maybe health or whatever the case then cause you to kind of, hey, I missed the mark.
You know, I see
I give up.
a lot of people want to do that, but I feel like if you have a strong support group, I want to put it that way. If you have a strong support group behind you that's pushing you and loving on you as you're going through these hard times, I believe you can make it better. You know, a person that's going through it by themselves, they definitely want to give up.
Right. Well, you know, when you say that support group from a personal level,
Mhm.
and I want you to explain the description of how do you know when you have that around you?
Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, for me, I think my wife is my cheerleader.
Okay.
You know, she's my cheerleader. Then I have another guy in my life, I call him Dad.
Right.
You know, his name is Jody. But support groups are some people that say, hey, it ain't as hard as you think it is. I'm by your side, whatever it is, and they with you, whatever it is, and they help you push through. You know,
Correct.
that type of thing. Some people don't have mother and fathers to go to,
Right.
or family members to go to.
And in your case,
in my case, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you have a certain person in your life that you'll be able to call for that support, that moral support, that support where they can talk you through certain things, or you can just talk to them and they have an ear to listen.
Correct.
You know, we all need that. And so those hard spots in life, if you don't have a support group, a strong support group behind you, I feel like some people will give up.
What do you say to those people?
I say
that,
to them,
that don't have that support group,
Well-
that feel like I'm ready to throw in the towel. I'm done.
you know, if
I can't take it no more.
you can't take it no more, huh? I would tell them that it's certain areas in life where you can have, they have different agencies out there you can call to get some support. You know, I'm just not talking about financial support. I'm talking about just communicating with somebody.
The emotional support that you need.
They have different people out there, mental support.
Yes.
If you're into a church and you're going through this, you shouldn't have to go through this when you're into churches. You should be able to go to some members in the church to talk to them. You know,
most come to the church after the fact.
After the fact, and it's a hard question to answer.
Right.
What do I say to those people? It's definitely a hard question to answer because I wouldn't know how to answer that because I don't know where to tell you to turn to get that support that you need. For me, it just came. I mean, people came to my life, and when people come in your life, you know who those people are because you have an attachment. Say, if you don't mind me putting it out there.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna put it out there. For you, for instance, you know, we call each other brother now. And we probably would have never done that if we wouldn't have met at the car wash. We met at the car wash. You saw my shirt. You came up to me and said, hey, brother, you do, you know, bathrooms and different things of that nature. And I said, well, yeah. I'll give you a call. Let me get your number. Now, to keep in mind, I never thought I'd get another phone call from you. And I did. And when I did, guess what? Our relationship spanned from there. You never know how a support group goes. Now we talk to each other all the time.
Oh yeah, about good things.
Yeah, good things.
Good things. Most definitely.
Yeah.
That's just formulating. So you know, life going to give, you know, the valley, as you mentioned, and then the mountain, and describing how to go from that valley, describing how to when you miss the mark. That you know, when I ask you the question like, what do you tell the person?
Yep.
Hey, it happened to me.
Yeah.
And you know what the best thing I can do sometimes? I said, man, I can listen to you, but until we can find the root of the problem, the only way I can find the root of the problem is
by listening.
It ain't a one-trick pony.
It's not.
It's not a one-trick
It's not. And I know in my lifetime, it's like, okay, I've been through a lot of different valleys, you know, a lot of different peaks. And in those times in my life, it was one incident that I had back in the day, sitting in my living room by myself, feeling lonely, feeling depressed.
If you think you're lonely now, wait until the night.
But I was definitely sitting there in my living room, man, and it happened to me. I had a 38.
Right.
You know, and I'm sitting there.
Right now, the 45.
I had a bottle. It was 38, and I had a bottle of Boone's Farm. I don't know if anybody know about that Boone's Farm.
Telling
right?
your age right
hey,
now.
Look at man. So I had a bottle of Boone's Farm in my hand, and I'm drinking it. And I'm feeling kind of down. I feel like nobody cared. I'm giving money. I'm helping people. I'm doing a whole bunch of different things, but I didn't have any support because everybody was around me for certain things. They wasn't around me for me. They was around me for certain things. And so when I'm sitting there lonely, and I pulled the trigger. I had 6 bullets in the gun. I pulled the trigger. Then nothing happened. Pointed in my fireplace. It went off in my fireplace. I dropped the ball, the boom farm, and the gun. And guess what? That wasn't my time.
It wasn't your
It wasn't my time. I went through that type of thing. So, and after that, I found I needed help. I knew I needed help. And the only help I got was through faith.
Through faith.
Through faith.
You know, sometimes we do get in those isolated moments.
Yes.
You know, we had COVID a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And COVID gave you a chance to see how strong your relationship was.
Yes.
And it gave you a chance to be isolated from the business of the world. And it really made you look internally.
Yes.
And I think that's what you got from that experience.
I
a
did.
Chance to say, hey, it wasn't my time. 6 in the chamber. And for whatever, are you sure you?
Oh, I clicked it. I clicked that joker. I mean, it went click. And I thought it was dud. I pointed in the fireplace, shot it in the fireplace. It went off.
But just the fact that you had enough gall to even do that says a lot. So this issue of being in those valley points, in which they all happen in a part of life. You know, sometimes I often wonder how much of these valleys and peaks are structured just by society.
Yes.
It's just like if you're born in a certain environment or a certain socioeconomic class, you know, your values may be a little more lower than some others. You know, the starting points could be very different. So I definitely could, you know, me personally, I ain't gonna say never, but you know, I think everybody get into a dark moment.
Big time.
And I ain't scared to say I done cried alone by myself.
Oh man,
I done shed a tear. I ain't that macho.
I shed a whole bunch of tears, man.
Yeah,
whole lot of them. You know.
Yeah, I'm not very say so. You know, as we think about throwing in the towel, and we think about missing the mark, and we talk about the valleys and mountains. Like I said, we call this kind of a Friday recording to say get ready for the weekend because actions on the weekend sometimes bring you that you missed the mark.
That
That you get in that valley because we get free in those choices that we be making. Sometimes they self-inflicted.
You know, I'm gonna piggyback off that, and you're so right about that. Most of the time, people get in positions that they fail to realize it's their own fault. You see it? They get into positions where how did this happen? Okay, if you say, for instance, you go party on the weekend, right? And you know for a fact your mortgage got to be paid, or your light bill got to be paid, or your car note got to get paid.
I can float it 20
you know,
days.
I got this. Don't worry about it. I got this. But you go and party on the weekend, and next thing you know, you got an eviction notice on your door. Your car get repossessed. You ain't got no groceries in the refrigerator. Guess what? That's a choice that you made to party on the weekend and lose the money that you had to pay your bills.
That's
so that's self-inflicted. So a lot of people get into certain things.
Have you been taught by finances? You know?
A lot of people haven't. I can't say a lot haven't, but
you know, there's a current. We in Florida, so we know who the governor is here. You say the education system's up. You know, we got a current presidency, and I don't want to mention his name.
Yeah. You know,
system need to be overhauled, and I'm like sitting there like,
But you know what? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real just for a brief second.
Right.
The reason why our people, and you know what I'm saying that, our people, our race of people, are not flourishing like we should, is because we don't stick together.
Well, you know, unity, once again, I go back to, you had decades, if not centuries, of breaking that together, breaking that up.
Yeah.
So it's taken a little time. I think there's been a whole heap of progress from 67 to now. Does it need some fixing and tweaking?
Yeah.
I'd like to see more millionaires, not just in entertainment and musicians.
Oh yeah. I like
Granted, I'm happy for those that have made it.
Me too.
I wish I could get front loaded money. It's just like they get it's like it'd be nice. It's like you got to get old to get the money. And it's like, wow, how nice it would have been to be front loaded at the beginning with the money.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed with them, but you know, at the end of the day, either they dollars are not circulating to help with that, or they just don't know. So
awareness, man. You know, awareness is like you have to be able to put it out there, and you got a lot of people that's trying to do that now. our people are trying to do it now. Put the awareness out there
Right.
that we do need more better education. That we do need to train our young black men and young black women, even older men and older
Right.
women, people to learn how to do finances. I'm not the best at it. Trust me, I'm not the best at finances, but I know that I try my best to be right where I need to be, you know. And I have an open hand, I have open heart for people, but I feel like that we do need that in society, in our society today, some type of teaching to show them, hey, it is a better way. You know, it is a better way that you can do things. It's a better way that you can make it. Most of the time, there are our people from where I'm from, Chicago, and if anybody don't know anything about the slums of Chicago, what y'all call projects here, it's not the projects in Chicago. You know.
Well, this is the South.
Yeah, yeah, but the projects in Chicago is way worse than these projects here. Now, when I first saw a low income house project here.
Yeah,
that's a house.
You thought it was nice.
It's a house.
I've had a chance to visit the New Yorks and Phillies.
Oh yeah.
So you are absolutely right. They are a little different, but systemic wise, they the same.
Yeah.
It's just they packing more people on top.
Yeah.
It's like y'all more sardine package, where we kind of have our own little corners a little bit better.
Yeah.
And what quote unquote they want to call projects, but you know it is what it is
in life
when it comes to that. But those are valleys. Once again, you can say some people create those situations,
right?
But they could be systemically introduced, and you get caught in a trap without the right support system and the right guidance.
And that you just said it so clean.
Yeah,
you just said it so clean. I don't even have to say no more on that.
Right.
You said it so clean.
Right.
That is very, very important. But go back to the question that you were saying.
Throwing in that towel.
Throwing in the towel. If you throw in the towel, you never know what your life can become. You know. And I was gonna throw that towel in years ago. Thank God nothing ever happened to me, and I never knew that I would be to this day where I'm at today. You know.
Hey, man,
and that's the big and the small amount.
You know, I was about to throw in the towel this on a business level, and on the business level, when I threw it in. I met my little partner Nehemiah, who over Dynasty Solutions.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey man, I can rebrand you.
Right.
I can get you. I can do something with you." And I was ready to throw in the towel. Like, let me just sell the business and go. Go get up out of here, and I'm out. And then, you know, thankfully for Dynasty Solutions, who's behind the camera that's helping us bring this show today.
Right.
You know, it showed a little perspective, and then. It's like I'm a novice, totally novice. I'd be like, "You gonna create the YouTube page? You gonna do this? You gonna handle the Twitter? You gonna do? I mean, not Twitter. What they call it, X now?" And he like, "Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But he gives that comments like, "I got you. I just need you to get to work a little bit."
Right.
So you know, I get it. That's instances that I've been through. You know, a breakup.
Right.
You know, I've been through losing my father. Everybody have those valleys. And absolutely, I am grateful for the support system. As you were saying that, I'm just thinking about the people that just popped up. It's like you say, you never knew it.
Never know.
You know, it's like when Nehemiah had popped up. It's like, you really want to do this?
Right.
I'm gonna look into it and see. You know, having family members for me, that's my strong center right there.
Right.
My children and my 3 brothers and my mom and dad. I remember Charles Barkley. I don't know if you remember. They called him the round man. He had a big old yellow head. Basketball player.
You know, I know Charles Barkley.
But you know, Charles Barkley always said that was a commercial when he said, "I'm not your hero."
Right.
You should put it on your parents. And that was a profound statement that he caught a little flack. And that support system for me, man, was started with my mom and dad. So to hear you say that you were a dumpster baby,
right?
That I'm sure a lot of people out there are in that valley saying, "I'll be glad when I can get to the mountain."
Yes.
I just missed the mark in life. You know, if you, it's like if you get a felony in this country, they make you miss the mark.
They make you miss the mark. Well, it can,
but a lot of people don't recover from it.
Yeah.
You have. I think the entrepreneur one, but as far as your classification of saying I just want a good job, it just seemed like they make that extremely.
They make it very extremely hard.
So for those that are able to pivot and go do something nice with themselves and have that entrepreneur spirit, you know, it's definitely there. So And another support group we didn't mention, we mentioned the support lines, family, friends, church, and all those things are available to people.
Right.
But I tell you, man, you run 2 businesses, and I see how busy your day be.
Oh yeah.
And you got pretty much 2 support systems. Now, we ain't here to talk about business,
Yeah.
but if you had to have a little bit of business support to tell a young entrepreneur out there, somebody that's thinking about joining that side, saying, I got to figure it out myself, what would it be?
You know, I didn't have any kind of like business training. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have any type of how we say, some people go to business school, some people, you know, get the education in business and different things. I started it myself.
On the job training?
On the job training.
Whew.
You know.
How rough was that?
It was tough. It was tough at first. By using knowledge in my hands of what I grew up, you know, the way I worked with things and knew how to fix things, different things of nature. I branded my own type of thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And I started the LLC, got the LLC started, found out, did my research. YouTube got everything to start a business. You already know you go on YouTube and branch out and start your own business. But it was hard. And when I say hard, you got to grind. You got to grind every day. You got to grind every day. You got to grind every day. So when I started the handyman thing, I was grinding every day, you know, and I had to build myself up from there. And the way I built myself up from there is just word of mouth. I went to a job, did a good job for the client, and I said, you spread my name a little bit. They spread my name a little bit. And when I branched out a little bit more, start making a little bit more lucrative money and whatever you have it, I started building myself a little bit more on Google and different things of that nature, making sure that my name get out there. It took years, man. I've been doing this for almost 10 and a half years now.
Yeah.
You know, so it took some time. So and not only that, if you don't have any type of financial backing when you start a business, I would suggest don't do it right off the bat. You know,
everybody got to start for
somewhere.
But you know, when we talk about starting at the valley, though, when I think about you being found in a dumpster,
yeah,
it's like I think you say you might have had a little military background.
Got a little bit, Navy, a little bit of Navy in me. That happened because I needed to get out of Chicago. You know, my sister came to me one day.
Is that where Kanye from?
I don't know.
Kanye West.
But my sister came to me one day and she says, bro, if you don't get out of Chicago, my foster sister, she said, if you don't get out of Chicago, you're going to be killed out here.
Right.
You know, so that's how I ended up in the military, put it that way.
Got it.
I had my run-in with the law just like everybody else. I didn't have my run-in with prejudiced people just like everybody else probably. And I just feel like you have to be able to take the hard bullets. If you could take those hard bullets, man, and still let them bullets bounce off you and still push, you can make it.
Right.
You can definitely make it. And like when you say with the dumpster baby thing, you know, I wrote the book. I haven't published it yet, but it's coming. But it's one of them things. It's one of them things where to know that you was found in a dumpster, to know that your parents gave up on you, but you don't know why. You know, you don't know their situation. You don't know what they went through or what she had to go through or how she felt, what she felt in her mind to put you in a dumpster.
Right.
You know, so you don't really know that. So that ate me up for a long time once I found out the truth behind it.
Most definitely.
But now I'm older, I'm more wiser, and I think my religious background, as far as like going to, you know, my seminary, college, and different things of that nature, being able to speak to individual people talking to my life, people speaking into my life, good people around me. You know, it took time.
Well, you know, I think you point out a very important matter when you're saying people.
Yeah.
Strong connections through people
is
how everything's get better.
Everything gets better that way.
You want to build something, it's not just one person, it's people.
And what they say, they take a village. What they say?
They take a village to raise people.
Yep.
You know.
That's true.
So, you know, people are always important, and having a discernment to pick through those things. And like you say, when you looking, like if you're in the valley, just start looking up.
That's it.
You know, just start looking up.
Yep.
I ain't gonna tell you which way to go, whether you go to Buddha, Allah, Jesus. Just look up nature, whatever that is. That is a start. And we're gonna end this here, man, with a little statement you made, and it's been given so many times, saying how the race is given to the swift,
Yes.
to the strong, but to those who can endure to the end.
To the end.
And I think the word endure is you got to place that in your DNA.
That's
when
good.
When you feel that way.
That's good.
When you don't make that mark. And different marks is different ways. It's just like you can work on a job for 30, 40 years and say, man, I worked with you all this in time. You just not telling me all I had was a 401k. That could make you miss the mark and lose your mind because, hey, there's different things out there. I just, coming into the world and, making a few mistakes in your 20s and it's held against you in your 20s and 30s and 40s. It take a long time. I just, a failed relationship, I just committing one crime out of necessity.
Yes.
Some people.
And that's what you said some good stuff right now, man. Yeah. Because, when you say commit crimes out of necessity, and sometimes it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And for those I just want to put out there, for those who say, oh, the system keeps me down because of my felonies, stop telling yourselves that. Stop telling yourselves that.
What they say, you are what you speak.
Yeah. Stop saying that to yourself, man. Believe me, vibrations are real.
Vibrations
are real. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So if you start speaking positive things out of your mouth, all things are going to become positive. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in that. That's why I try to bridle my tongue from speaking any ill-gotten will or anything out of my mouth that's going to cause somebody or myself to get a bad vibration. Those vibrations are so real. Right. So send out all good vibrations. Once you do that, you'll find yourself in another different realm.
Well, today is a Friday.
Yeah.
And what can we leave and cut this off with? We're giving our party goers and people that are in the valleys and people that may be missing the mark. What can you sum up to take us for the weekend to hopefully put a provoking thought in their mind?
You said it already.
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up.
Not to the definitely not down, because that's sad.
That's sad. Not to the side.
Not to the side. They're trying to ignore the problem.
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up. Keep that support group.
Yes.
And if you out there, find that support group.
Yes.
That support group can come from the baker.
You better believe it. It come from the bartender.
Yeah, and sometimes some of the ones who you think that are worse give you the most wisdom.
And look, you got to like you better take this to a whole nother level, man. Because I ran into, I'm gonna share this with you. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
I ran into this guy one time. He was homeless.
Right.
And I like to stop, give a couple of dollars, even talk to him. And I talked to this guy. I said, "Man, what caused you to be homeless?" Mm-hmm. He said, "I'm just tired of the world." I said, "What did you do for a living?" He said, "I was a surgeon." A surgeon.
Wait a minute.
He was a surgeon.
He gave up 10 years of school.
He was a surgeon.
It's the debt that made him homeless.
I'm not quite sure what it was. I know this man told me. He said, I was a surgeon.
Right.
I worked for Shands.
Oh, this is here in Gainesville?
In Gainesville. This happened recently. This happened like a month ago. I said, so you left your practice and became homeless. He said, it's a long story behind it. He said, but I'm more free than I ever was in my whole entire life.
I got to go find him.
And I had to sit back and I had to meditate on what he just told me. In life, the world can keep you locked up. But what do we think about? What do we worry about all the time? All the time. Bills, debts.
Well, that's that.
Taking care of other people.
Yeah, that's that systematic thing.
But
you have to.
What he told me, he said, I have no one to worry about.
Right.
But myself. I have nothing, no debts, no nothing to worry about right now but myself. And he said, I'm more free than ever.
Well, that would be free.
That'd be free.
But free and isolated, is that a good thing?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, he told me that it was profound to me because I had to go back and meditate on it. Yeah. I understood what he said. Never let anything lock you up in your mind. Never let anything lock you up in your mind. My partner Nehemiah gave a good little short clip. I ain't gonna talk about it now, but it's something I'm gonna put a red tag into that freedom and add it to a piece that he had, and we'll discuss that on another day. That'll work.
So Appreciate you coming to join us for this little
Appreciate
wacky
it.
Friday here.
Appreciate it.
And peace and love and happiness. This is
Yeah.
Simon P. Thanks so much, Calvin, for coming through.
I appreciate you, my
And
brother.
once again, Carmen Hood, please hit the subscribe button. And if you need some tips, or you need some recording, you need some videos, I got to mention my partner, Nehemiah.
Yes.
Call that number up. He going to put it on a red line for you so you can call him. For those that need to make videos, handle photography, drone shots, or just branding yourself, that's what he do.
That's good.
Thank you so much for joining us, my brother.
appreciate
Till
you,
we
brother.
meet again,
Appreciate
which I'm
you.
hoping we can.
Yes.
We out.